population struggles to meet their basic needs. 2 million tons of toxic coal ash waste are currently leaking into Lake Michigan as we speak.
Toxic gas has got to go. Hey, hey. Go, go. Toxic gas has got to go.
Coal ash doesn't just affect the communities that they're located in, but also has the potential to affect over 6 million Illinois residents and millions of others who get their drinking water from Lake Michigan.
We know that contamination, pollution in one area travels to other areas, and that's really apparent in Lake Michigan. There's multiple different sites around the lake that have the potential to contaminate drinking water.
An estimated 1/2 of toxic coal ash waste in communities nationwide is currently not subject to any regulation by the EPA.
From Tennessee, from Alabama to Chicago, this is a national issue.
When the air we breathe is under attack, what do we do? Stand up! Fight back!
June 28th was the day we got the diagnosis with my daughter. First time, because she's on round 3 now, that she had thyroid cancer. And I found out not only my daughter had cancer, but my neighbors had cancer. All of these friends of mine had cancer, young adults, and all the kids at the high school were getting sick. That our town was built with coal ash instead of safe soil.
My best friend, Danielle Bailey Lash, who's on the poster here on the right, died of a brain tumor in 2019. And my cousin has a brain tumor.
I'm a wife of a first responder, but now, as of May 28, 2023, I am a widow because my husband passed from coal ash. They were told early they couldn't wear masks. They didn't have tie bags. They didn't have nowhere to shower.
The men, some of them started getting sick, some of them were passing out. When the weather got dry, they were asking about dust masks, and they were told they could not wear dust masks.
Coal ash is toxic. It's a toxic situation.
It's full of carcinogenics and constituents that are not good for human health.
The coal plant devastated our community. My brother died when he was 31, and at that time I was thinking of his lifestyle. What did he do wrong? Until my neighbor died of the same thing.
And it's nerve-wracking because you always wonder, is my husband next? I wondered that for a long time, and now my husband is gone.
The voices of those who have died are crying out to us today.
In Kingston, Tennessee, all it took was a weakness in a wall. In Eden, North Carolina, it was a broken pipe. Any of these coal ash ponds do spill on Waukegan, I can say goodbye to playing spike ball on Waukegan's sandy beach, eating and cooking my uncle's catfish that he caught in the lake, and drinking water with 6.6 million Illinoisans relying on Lake Michigan freshwater. Inaction is not an option.
I am sick and tired of the excuses from industry, the idea that these are naturally occurring chemicals in our waterways, that this stuff isn't really bad. We say it's bad, and they say, oh, it's not that bad.
Coal ash is toxic. Do not believe when they tell you it's okay to breathe it, it's okay to grow food in it, it's okay to use to build a school on, it's okay to build a playground on. That is all lies from an industry that is making billions and billions of money and does not care about our health, our children's health, how long we live, nothing. It's all about their profits.
And so there's a lot of misdirection that seems to come with this business of big coal. They tell people and communities things that clearly and simply are not true. And we've had enough of it.
For too long, our communities have been overburdened for decades by the fossil fuel industry, who have sought delays and exemptions from coal ash pollution standards, leaving our communities in the lurch with ongoing groundwater contamination.
On top of diabetes, they had many health complications such as cancer, thyroid, heart disease, lupus, birth defects, asthma.
However, the problem doesn't end with physical health. Exposure to environmental pollutants can significantly increase levels of depression and anxiety.
The company continues to put profits over people and treats this region, its communities, and the environment as sacrificial.
And while my mother is already dead, and I and my sisters will never have children, it is not too late for future generations.
I want to give our children and future generations the ability to dream of a just transition and a better future.
A just transition is really taking, this extractive economy that has put us in the middle of a climate crisis and build onto rather a regenerative economy that doesn't depend on dirty energy, on dirty fossil fuels.
I'm 18. I represent all of those that are young, and we want change. We want to see the change.
We are living, breathing dreams.
You've allowed these utility companies to work basically on an honor system.
You cannot continue to allow the fox to guard the henhouse. By allowing industry to self-implement and self-monitor, you have gifted them a totally meaningless rule.
How much of this stuff do we have to put up with? How many times do we have to kick the can down the road on cleanups that never happen?
We need the EPA to hold polluters accountable and actually enforce their rules.
So channel this anger, like we are doing today, in so many other constructive ways to make real transformative change.
I believe that together we can win clean air, clean water, and healthy communities for all. Our communities are done waiting.
I urge the EPA to finalize this rule. Close the loophole.
I'm here today to ask you to close all of the gaps in the law.
I'm asking you to do your jobs and protect this environment. Somebody.
The EPA must close the loopholes that exist.
Failure is not an option. Indifference is not an option. And inaction is not an option.
When we fight, when we fight, when we fight.